Well, we're here in front of the Tennessee Cattlewomen's booth, and we've got a special guest with us. It's Casey Matzke. Casey, you've come all the way from Texas. Tell us about yourself and the organization.
Sure, yeah. So I just got installed on Monday as the American National Cattlewomen's president. So it's been an exciting week so far. And Madison Martin, the Tennessee Cattlewomen president, reached out and asked if I could come give a talk today at their meeting. And so I said yes, and we came over here. So I got to give them a little bit of update on what American National Cattlewomen is doing.
So why don't you give us a little bit of a synopsis, a little
Sure.
preview. Just share
Yes,
with
of
us.
course. Yeah, so American National Cattlewomen is our national cattlewomen's organization. We're made up of state affiliates all across the United States, as well as individual memberships. And we have three different pillars that we operate under: education, promotion, and legislation. And under those different pillars, we have different programs. One of the programs that we have coming up is the Women in Ranching Education and Development Program, or better known as WIRED. We have a WIRED program coming up in Virginia next month in March. So that's pretty exciting, and you can find out all that information on our website as well. And then we also visit legislation. For legislation, we visit D.C. every year at the in October. We go to the Capitol, and our ladies visit all the different congressmen there and stuff. So that's a great opportunity too as well.
So give us a sense here of, it's a nationwide organization.
Yes, sir.
You told us a little bit before we got rolling that you have affiliates, state affiliates, Tennessee being one of those. Give us a sense of how large your organization
Sure.
is.
Yeah, so we have, I think, 28 current state affiliates right now across the United States, and we are getting new ones every year. So Virginia Cattlewomen is one of the newer ones that's coming on. Just for an example, we have a WIRED event this year in Hawaii, because Hawaii is one of our state affiliates too as well.
All
So
right.
we cover all the areas.
I bet that one is, people are making plans for that.
Yes,
and
yes, are super
gotta
excited.
attend, yeah.
Yes.
So when you are out at the state level, what do you see, what do you hear, and tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that we like to do is just recognize the states and everything that they're doing, right? It all comes down to our members at the local, state, and national level. It all comes down to what they're doing, right? If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the organization. So we want to recognize and appreciate everything that they're doing. They have the boots on the ground. They're the ones that are doing all the hard work and stuff. So that's one thing that we want to do. And another is kind of just update everybody of what we have coming new from ANCW. So this year, I would like to implement a webinar series for an additional resource, just something that people can refer back to, and we can we have a podcast too. I know you were saying you'll have a podcast, but we're going to turn that into our podcast and put it on our YouTube channel too, so that we can have people, go back and listen to that whenever they're ready. But we'll cover different topics far as, mental health, grief counseling, animal welfare, just whatever the ladies would like to hear from, then we'll kind of cover those topics. We're also going to try to implement a monthly newsletter just to give everybody an idea of what's going on with ANCW. So that will include committee reports, region reports, different upcoming events. We'll highlight members just to kind of get down to those grassroots levels. And let's see, we also have a Grilling 101 program that's coming out of Texas. So I worked at the Texas Beef Council back in 2017, and we did a Grilling 101 program. And from that, Texas Cattlewomen has taken that program, and we promote it on behalf of the Texas Beef Council. And so I travel all across the Texas doing these Grilling 101 programs. And so this year, I thought, why not bring it to the national level? So we created a toolkit, which is going to be on our website, and then we're going to put a video up as well as showing the demonstration. So
why don't you give us that web address while we're
it's just www.ancw.org, and you can find all of our information on there as well.
Okay, so give us a sense of who are the members of your organization, because like for somebody like as old like me, I'm thinking, well, are there actually women running
Sure. Yes.
ranches and all of that?
Yes,
Well,
of course.
I'm sure there are, but educate me,
Yeah,
please.
sure. So our members range from a whole variety of people. So we have 5th, 6th, 7th generation cattlewomen that are working their ranches. And then we also have cattlewomen who don't own cattle. and who just love the beef industry and want to have an impact in it and show up and do the work too as well. So we have a wide range. I will say there are a lot of women that run the ranch at home who have lost their husbands, but still run it day to day and make all the decisions and all the operations too as well.
So when you're speaking with those folks, and I'm thinking about just how resilient you have to be.
Yes, sir.
How resilient you have to be to run a business.
Yes, sir.
To think about folks and women in industry, any industry, it's been amazing things have happened in the last 20, 30 years. But we're still kind of coming out of the dark ages,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And so when you're speaking with these folks and when you're inspiring people to get involved, what's that experience like?
Yeah, so one thing that I'd like to tell everybody is there's a place for everybody. We have a place for everybody. Everybody has a strength and something that they're really great at, and we need to utilize that, whatever it may be. So for some, it may be social media. For others, it may be writing. For others, it may be holding a class and teaching people how to do cattle handling or how to do injections or vaccinations and stuff like that. So I think we all have strengths, and we need to come together as a women or as an organization and make sure that we put those to use and help get the word out and, help keep the beef industry strong.
So you think about how far things have come in the last 20, 30 years.
Yes.
What do you see for the future?
Yeah, so I see women getting a lot more involved on the home front, taking more of the leadership roles, being more involved. You can see if you look back, especially at the national level, we've had some strong women leaders, but slowly over time, we've gotten more in place and more in place. And I think women are feeling more comfortable stepping into those leadership roles and taking on those responsibilities, and they know how to do it too. So.
And I'm also thinking about, because everybody's younger than me, right? I'm thinking about the younger generation.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about the future of production in general.
Yeah, so for our organization, we are right now, obviously, like any organization, we have a lot of the older ladies, but I love them. I listen to them. I get their feedback on the history and things that we can work to improve, but we're also doing a lot to encourage the younger generation coming up. I think helping me be, or as president this year, will help hopefully shed a light to some of the younger generation saying, hey, this is possible if you want to do it. There is a place for you as well. And then we have a lot of collegiates, right? So getting those collegiates involved and making sure they stay involved after college is one of the biggest things that we need to work on as an organization. As far as in the industry overall, I think it's going to be very, very important to keep our younger generations involved on the ranches and at home and stuff, right? Because I think statistically, I'm not going to quote me on this, but I would say most of the ranches are owned by older generations, right? Older farmers and producers and ranchers. Right. And so we have to have the younger generation coming in if we want to keep the beef industry going.
So a couple things. When you're here on the ground at the Tennessee Cattlemen's Association convention, what are you seeing? And tell us about the experience of the last couple of days.
Yeah, so we started out in Nashville for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and the American National Cattlewomen meetings, and I got to see a lot of producers there as well, and kind of, a lot of the same people go to those conventions every year, so it's like getting to see your friends. You get to talk to everybody. And then Madison Martin asked me to come to talk to the Tennessee Cattlewomen's, and I was like, sure. And so we pulled up today, and I've never been to y'all's convention before, so this is great. It's a great time. I always love seeing the different state conventions and stuff, and I got to meet some of the lovely ladies from the Cattlewomen's Association and hear some of the great things that they're doing. So I'm really excited for them and what they have planned for this next year too as well.
What's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is getting to meet all the different cattlewomen across the United States. I think that's my favorite thing. I always tell everybody, if something were to happen, if I was traveling somewhere and broke down or something, I could pick up the phone and probably within 2 phone calls have a cattlewoman coming to get me or coming to take care of me. So that's one of my favorite things is obviously the cattlewomen and all that they pour into the organization and getting to meet them and getting to know them more on a personal level. And I think the second part is that I get to bring my daughter around with me everywhere, so I get to get her involved in the industry at a lot younger age than I was and get her, to meet the ladies and help her follow her passions too along the way.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Just want to say that there's a place for everybody. So if you're interested in American National Cattlewomen or Tennessee Cattlewomen, they would love to have you come check them out.